Hi, Lidivine. This is a video just for you. This is only in English, and I'm going to share this document with you in this recording, and then see what you think and see if we could make some sort of quick video about this. Okay, so today's English lesson is about how to have a conversation over the phone with somebody who calls you after you've put in a job application. So what happens is you put in a job application, and then somebody at the business sees it, sees your phone number, and just picks up the phone and calls you. Like you said, can you say, please text me instead? Not really. They might not have that phone, and you don't necessarily want to say that you don't know enough English to do a phone call. So this is about how to kind of fake it, do the best you can. Oh, and so if you could explain this part. So this English lesson is about how to answer a couple basic questions, but what to do when somebody says something you don't understand. So down here, I'll say something like, that's great to hear. My next question is blah, 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 blah. And that means, they say something to you and you don't understand it. What do you say? And so we go over that, but we start with a couple basic things. And let's just take it step by step. Okay. So this is they and you. And so we're going to pretend is a person at the Hilton named Brandon Wilson. So they will say, so ring, phone rings. You pick up the phone and you say, hello. And they will say, hello, my name is Brandon Wilson with the Hilton Hotel in Aurora. Is this na Mupenzi? And so then I have a note. For sure, they will mispronounce your name. It's just, we don't have a name that's similar to that in English. So for sure, they will get it wrong. But that's okay. We're not going to try to teach them your name. If they try a couple times and they can't say your name, you can always say, don't worry about it. Or what I recommend is we give you an American name for emergencies, and you can say DJ, because DJ is the closest thing to Jajije that we've got. So what I'd like you to learn is practicing. So again, if somebody says, is this Najee Mupenzi, you would say yes. But if they say, am I saying your name right? You could just say, you can call me DJ. So practice that. You can call me DJ, which means another name for me is DJ. Okay, so then you would say, yes, this is Najije. Thank you for calling. I would like to work for your company. So when you say that, you sound like you know some English. So that's the most important sentence to know, because you're just going to say, yes, this is Najije. Thank you for calling. Like, as soon as you say thank you for calling, they're going to be like, oh, he knows a little English. Like, that's much better than most people do when they don't know English. So right there, you show that you know a little English. And then you really knock their socks off by saying, I would like to work for your company. So when you say, I would like to work for your company, you're saying, I understand that you are calling because I filled out a job application, and I want you to know that I want to work for your company. Like, yes, I am looking for work. And then we see what they say. So your guy Brandon, he says, that's great. Your application says that you are looking for full-time work. Is that accurate? So let's break that down. So he says, that's great. That means that's good. And let's talk about the words in this next sentence. Your application says you are looking for full-time work. So what is he saying? So what does application mean? Application is those online forms we've been filling out. We apply for a job, we fill out an application. So your application says you are looking for work. So there's a saying in America, you're looking for work. It doesn't mean you're looking at something. It's just what we say, looking for, and then I say full-time work. That means 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. full-time work. So your application says you are looking for full-time work. And then he says, is that accurate? Or he might say, is that true? And then you would say, yes. So you have to memorize accurate, true, right. Is that right? Is that accurate? Is that true? And then, you can confidently say yes, and then repeat a little bit back. I am looking for full-time work. So he says, are you looking for full-time work? And you say, yes, I am looking for full-time work. And then here's another thing you can say that's going to totally make them think that you know English. You can say, I can start right away, or I can start now, or I can start tomorrow. I can start right away. Okay. Then this is the hardest sentence in the whole thing, but let's just try this. So then he's basically saying, he's talking about the job now as a housekeeper. And he says, do you have experience cleaning hotels? So they, and then hold on, I'm going to say you. Okay. Do you have experience cleaning hotels? So, okay, let's break this sentence down. What does experience mean? Experience means have you done it? Do you have experience? And then cleaning, cleaning, and then hotels, hotels. So have you cleaned a hotel room before? And so this is where we can just kind of make it up a little bit. You know how to clean. You've cleaned your own house. I'm sure you've helped friends clean their houses. And so we're going to fudge it a little bit. And again, you have to make this your own. But they're never going to call Rwanda and ask if this is true. So you don't have to worry about, that if you want. It's up to you. But here's one thing you can say. We have, because this is the problem. If you say, I have not ever cleaned anything before, they might say, well, that's not good. We want someone who has cleaning experience. So this is a way to kind of say that you've done it and not lie. So we have not cleaned a hotel, but my wife and I cleaned some large houses in Kigali, Rwanda for extra money. Okay, let's break that down. Okay, we have not cleaned a hotel. So in English, there's the word not, which means you have not done it. So you would say, we have cleaned a hotel room. We have not cleaned a hotel room. So and you say, but it means we have not cleaned a hotel room, but my wife and I cleaned some large houses in Kigali. But my wife and I, so that's Claudine and Gigi, but my wife and I, because it kind of sounds nice, like you're married, and my wife and I cleaned some large houses in Kigali. So meaning that there are rich people with big houses, and you cleaned, maybe 5 houses, in Kigali, like big mansions, like people who are so rich, they can hire someone to clean their house. So my wife and I cleaned some large houses in Kigali, Rwanda for extra money. Okay. So then you also say, when he talks about, so he's asking, do you have experience? And then you're saying what your experience is. And you say, I used to work in construction building houses. That sounds good. Construction work is skilled labor. So I used to work in construction. And then, and then what kind of construction? Building a house. So building a house. Okay. This is getting long. Sorry, this is getting long. Maybe we'll break this up into 2 parts. Okay. He says, that is great to hear. My next question is blah, blah, blah. So at this point, in the next week, this is going to be about all the English you know. And that's all I expect you to learn, or hope you can learn. So from here on is all about what to do if you don't understand the conversation. And that could happen at any time. He might call and say, my name is Brennan Wilson with the Hilton Hotel in Aurora. ask if it's you, and you say yes, and then immediately the next thing he says, you have no idea what he said. And so there's two things you can do. You can ask him to repeat, or you can just at that point say, I don't know English. And don't worry about it at that point, because at this point you've said a lot of English. So you obviously know some English, and it's going to seem like you know a lot more English than you do. So blah, blah, blah means they asked you a question you don't understand. What do you do if you're on the phone and they ask you a question you don't understand? First say, I did not understand your question. Or you can say, I'm sorry, I did not understand your question. So I did not, remember that word not, which means no. I did not understand your question. So understand your question. A question, who, what, where, when, why. Okay. Can you ask again? Again means repeat. And ask means ask a question. Or you can say something else. I'm sorry, I did not understand what you said. I am learning English. And then they say something else that you don't understand. They go, blah, 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 blah. So at this point, you need to give up and just tell them that you don't know any more English, but you have a translator that you can call. So everything from here on is saying, I'm sorry, I don't know English, but I have a friend I can call who will translate. So a really important word you need to know is translate or translator. So I have a translator named Catherine, or you could say, I have a friend named Catherine. Okay, this gets a little advanced, but I'll just say this and we can just blow through this and just do a minimal version. But she works for the refugee agency. She is helping me get a job. Can you hold while I get her on the line and she can translate? So this is the fancy bonus stuff. You're saying, can you hold on for a minute and I'll call her? Or you could say, can I call you back with a friend to translate? But let's teach you some words around, I need a friend to help me with English. So that's kind of all you need to say. Let me actually put that down. I need a friend to help me with English. And then they'll understand. But this is good. It shows that you know some English, and they will give you a chance if we could do all this. Because if they call and they say, hello, I'm Brandon Wilson, and you say yes, and then you don't understand the question, and you just don't say anything, then they might want to give up and say, this person doesn't know enough English for the job, and we can't hire them. But if you know all this, you sound like your English is pretty good, And that's the amazing thing. Like, so many people who speak Spanish, the only thing they know how to say is no habla inglés, which is a way of saying in Spanish, I don't know English. And so sometimes you'll go up to someone and they just look at you and say, I don't know English. And you're like, oh, okay. But it's great. Their English was good enough to let you know that they didn't understand English. So, okay, that is the video, and we will take it from there.